Can't go there. Can't go
Oh, they look like the light blue looks like I don't know what they are. But there's a clam shell by the dark thing. Where do you see green at? There are 3 men. No, there's 3 men. 1 on the end and 2 in the middle. And then you have Fran. Sounds like maybe she was asleep. And somebody in her position to yelling the guys at she should be ashamed of Rita. Yes, and I'm going to take this mic and just sweeties are done speaking and I'll put off the other mic. I've met you before. I've met you. Yes. Okay, and nice to meet you with an E. Yeah, but how racist is that? Well, that's how racist. I went on Facebook and I said to him, you have to be ashamed of yourself. How racist that is. No, but the other one is here. He was on the committee too. He was in charge of it. Now I know he was the one that because people were yelling at him. That's him. And only the people that have
We're ready to start the meeting. If everybody will stand for the pledge of allegiance, please.
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to welcome everybody that's here today. I would like to welcome everybody that is here today. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. The purpose of this meeting is an informal meeting. It's for the share owners that did not get to speak, the committee people that did not get to speak in the last meeting, and I did promise them some time to speak. After they're done speaking, we will allow questions. A person will come up to you. You just raise your hand if you have a question. They'll come up to you. You can ask your question. And if one of the board members can answer, they will. If it's a question that we feel shouldn't be answered in an open forum like this, we request in the back of the room we have papers that say questions for the board. Fill them out, and you will get an answer. Matt will be controlling the gavel for today in case anything needs to be done. So right now we would like to invite any chair people, chairmen or clubs or committees that need to announce whatever they may be doing.
Good morning, board.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everyone is fine, safe, and healthy. That's the most important thing. Okay, my name is Harold Stewart, as many of you know. Those of you who are fairly new or brand new to the community, I am president of the Holiday City Melodiers. We are currently continuing with our rehearsals here in the clubhouse every Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock in preparation for our upcoming, 4 o'clock. That's the old schedule. 4 o'clock, we are currently in preparation for the upcoming spring concert, which will be taking place right here in this clubhouse on Sunday, May 1st, showtime 2 p.m. There'll be refreshments during intermission, okay? The theme, in case you haven't read the newspaper, will be Melodies of the Silver Screen. We're going to be doing theme hit songs from various movies, and it also includes some Disney movie hits. Okay? Tickets are still being sold throughout and through to and at the end up to the end of April on the first and third Tuesdays of the month in Clubhouse 1 from 12 noon until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, and you are interested, and you want to come and join us and have a nice afternoon of music, you can buy your tickets there. And for any tickets that are unsold, will be sold at the door on the day of the performance. Anybody have any questions? So we hope to see you on Sunday if you're available. It's great. We try to do the best we can for our residents, and we're very eager and looking very much forward to entertaining you folks. Thank you.
Susan DeMaria, Holiday City Day Planners. We have a trip on Tuesday, April 26th to Cream Ridge Winery. It is $15, $5 for the bus, $10 for the wine tasting. You get to taste 10 different wines. We will be stopping at Plumstead Grill for lunch before the winery. They suggested I feed everybody before they drink wine. I will be there on this Tuesday, March 29th. It's an extra day for ticket sales, 12 to 1, Clubhouse 1. Carolyn will also be there with the other day trips we have and the overnight trips. Okay, now my next hat is the Bocce hat. Bocce begins Monday, April 4th. Be there at 3:30. We will have the team schedules. You can pick the schedule up, see what team you're playing on. Same thing for Tuesday, April 5th. There is no Wednesday bocce. We did not have enough signups. It will only be Mondays and Tuesdays, 4 o'clock. Next hat, dance committee. Dance committee is having their Italian dance on April the 9th. Last ticket sale is this Tuesday, March 29th, 12 to 1. Tickets are $30. It includes food, very nice choice of food. Also, Wild Rose is the band. Okay, I think that's it. Lakewood.
Last time I had this in my hand, I was screaming. I can talk loud if I have to. I'm here, I represent the Social and Fishing Club. We're trying to get the name to reverse because it's more social than fishing. And we meet on the second Monday of the month. I don't care what the calendar says. It's the second Monday of the month. 10:30 we have coffee and donuts, if you're interested. 11 o'clock the meeting starts. This coming meeting we have someone coming from the Naval Station to talk to us about the museum they have there. Somebody I know has seen it and they said it's really quite interesting. We try to get more things done. We're having a luncheon then in May. They'll be selling tickets for that this Monday. I have no idea what it is. Also, I went to the meeting they had this week or last week about the clubs and found out we are going to get people who will be editing the paper. So hopefully from now on when you read it, it will be right. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I represent the Welcome Committee. We are doing a new packet that will be updated with a lot of information. thanks to Heidi Lauder, who has helped a great deal. That packet will be out probably in May. So we're working very diligently trying to get it all together. Thank you.
Any more committees? We have one request for the proofreaders who had signed up to do proofreading for the bulletin. We are requesting your email so that we can email you prior to the actual proof that we get. Like the calendar seems to be a big issue. So the calendar is ready right now. If I could email you the calendar, you can correct it, email it back, and then I think that will help in keeping it accurate. Okay, at this time, we're gonna ask anybody that has questions to raise their hand, and people will come out and meet you with the microphone. Anybody with a question? That one all the way in the back.
My question is, not everybody's on email. Does that mean we don't find out anything that's going on?
No, we do have bulletins, and we do post on the bulletin boards. Can we get your name for the record?
Dolores Dillon. I was just up there.
Oh.
I'll call everybody who wants to proofread. I got a list. So if you want to check the calendar now, it's ready. So if you want to come into the office and.
We're supposed to get a phone call about editing the paper.
Right. So, but the calendar is ready as we speak. So if you want to come in anytime, just let me know. I can give you a call, and then we can set up a date, and you can come proofread the calendar.
Not for nothing, but I don't have email. I was at the last meeting. I never got a call about this meeting. And from what I understand it, I'm not the only one.
Right, but if you left your number, I got a list of people that gave me their numbers from someone who gave it to maybe Fran. I can call you and we can set up an appointment even this week if you want to proofread the calendar before we submit it into the paper.
I understand you got 8 volunteers, so basically you only need 4 people to do the proofreading.
Right, but if you want to come in this week to proofread the calendar at least before we submit it to the newspaper, you're more than welcome. That's what I'm trying to say. I can give you a phone call.
But what you don't understand, you've got to get people coming in the same day. I mean, I can decide one day, somebody decides another. That's not how you proofread a newspaper.
No,
you call up and
not.
say, the paper's here, what day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, do you want to come in and we'll proofread it because it's got to go back out by Friday.
Right, I understand that, but you were just saying about the calendar mistakes. The calendar is ready. If you're willing to come in this week to proofread before we even submit it, you're more than welcome. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And then once we get the whole thing, I will call the 4 or 8 people, whomever I have, and then you can all come in at once to proofread. It's your choice.
Question? Raise your hand.
Deborah Donald. I'm wondering why you're opposed to the ordinance that the mayor or the township is proposing to fortify our bylaws to keep it at 55 and older, when if it's not fortified, we could end up losing our preferred tax status.
Thank you for that question. In our bylaws, you cannot live here unless somebody in the house is 55. Okay, we don't need to have that reinforced. Now, I don't know the purpose of why the town thinks that we need that reinforced. our bylaws say you must be 55. Now, to lose our tax status, well, that would be controlled by HUD and the HOPA forms that we fill out. And the only way that we could really lose that from the 55 requirement is if we do not meet the quota of an 80-20 rule, meaning that 80% of the people living in the houses, each house, one person must be 55. If you're not 55, let's just say, I'll give you an example. The husband's 70, the wife is 45, the husband dies, the wife can remain if she's been on the deed, she can stay there, but she would count towards our 20% rule, and that's how it's counted. One other thing that HUD requires, if they do an audit, the way the audit is conducted, is if a share owner does not fill out the HOPA form, that household is automatically counted towards the 20%. So that's why I personally have stepped up on the HOPA forms, trying to get people to fill these forms out in a timely manner. I'm researching right now for if we can put this requirement, for an example, like if you want to be in a club or on a committee, that your HOPA form must be filled out to do that.
I have one here, Mike.
I understand all that, but why are you not in favor of not allowing people under 55 to purchase here? It doesn't make any sense. We're 55 and older.
Yes. Why am I?
And it will contribute more to the 20% and leave us vulnerable to our preferred tax status.
We do not allow people to buy here that are under 55. You can't. Why am I opposing? I'm not opposing that part of it. Yeah, I'm not opposing the 55 rule. I'm not.
You're opposed to the township fortifying our bylaws. You said as much on next door to one of my comments.
Okay.
So I want to know why you're opposed when it's only
Because
fortifying our tax status.
Because it's not needed.
It is needed.
No, it's
As a
not.
man
We
of
already
protection,
have that.
You don't
rule.
get to decide that. We do.
No. Well, that would be the council. The council can vote the way they want. Now, one of the
You
other.
represent us, so you have to represent our views, not
Okay,
yours.
this is my other view on the township ordinance. In the last meeting, I was at the town hall. They omitted parts of the code, the township code, that protects us. And one of the omissions was that if you or any share owner wants to fill out a modification form for an addition, or for a sunroom, or for a patio, or any of that stuff that may require a building permit, what happens is you fill out the form, and then it gets approved by the board first. Then, once you have that approval, you can submit your permit application to the township for their approval, and they'll tell you how to build or whatever. We're not involved with that part of it. But what they did in the last writing is they took that section out. Now, that would leave us to the point where now you don't have to fill out a modification form. Okay, and that was my objection to the last meeting at the town hall, is they removed certain parts that should not be removed. If they put it back in, now I can't find the updated ordinance. I've been looking for it, and I would imagine that it would be the same ordinance number. And as you look in Berkeley Township, where they mentioned these ordinances are up for discussion, well, that ordinance is not even on that list, so I don't know. So we will go to the meeting that's coming up, I think, the 29th or whatever it is. It's going to be in Holiday City South because they're expecting a large turnout. So they moved it to Holiday City South in their auditorium.
So let me understand, once they take that out, you're voting yes on this because we want our status protected. That means most of the people are not voting.
Well, we do not get a vote. not get a vote. Seniors do not get a vote on this. It's the council that votes. I can't vote. I can't vote. Nobody can.
But you pull a lot of weight with the council when you're describing how our residents feel, and I want to be sure that you know how the residents feel about the 55 and older.
Well, listen. I'm allowed to have my opinion, and you can have yours.
You cannot represent our opinion at a council meeting.
Next question, please.
Hold on. We all feel the same way about the 55 and over community, all right? We're not going to vote to allow them to change it. We are voting for the people in this community because we live here too and we care about this community. So it will be that we will vote and everybody can, wait a minute. Excuse me, can I finish before you interrupt me? Absolutely. Thank you. We all have you can have your own opinion, but we're still going to, if we have a chance to vote for this, we are looking for this to be and stay a 55 and over community.
Just said you don't get a vote at the council. You don't get a vote. You do, but you do get to influence the people who do vote, and I want to be sure you're respecting our vote, not yours.
Did I just tell you that we are all concerned with this staying a 55 and over community? That's what we're going to do. If we don't get a vote, we can still say we want it to be a 55 and over community, and we'll talk to our people who can vote to do it for us. You're welcome.
Yes, Carol. Carol had a question.
Hi, how you doing? I'd like to know why we're paying, my name is Peter Triano. I'd like to know why we're paying the grass company during the winter when they're not cutting the grass. Approximately $41,000 a month. It's like getting your house painted and paying before you get it done, you know?
For the whole year, and it's broken up in payments so they're distributed, so we're not paying it all at once. We're paying it that way so that we're not paying it all at one time. It's broken up in payments so it's distributed equally through the year. But it's for the whole contract. The contract is for the year. They do it right up until December. They'll do it the leaves, and then they break the payments up so they're paid monthly.
What happens when he goes out of business? You know, landscapers are in and out of business all the time. You could pay him for 5 months, $40,000. That's $200,000. And he can go out of business, you're out your money. I think you should pay it over once.
One second. We have a yearly contract. So if we pay them for the year, they're supposed to honor their contract. If they were to go out of business, then we'd have to go to legal and straighten it out. But so far, they haven't gone out of business, and we can't keep saying what if. Okay? We're dealing with this company. So far, they're trying to do the best they can, and we're going to give them a chance to do it. And if the contract reads we must pay you 12 months out of the year, then that's what we have to do. I'm sorry if some people don't understand it or like it, but that's the way when you get involved with a contract with someone, this is what we must do.
He has another question.
Go ahead.
Can you tell me how many maintenance men do we have?
I think we have 3, hold on a second. I think we have 3 maintenance men. Okay?
Hi, I'm Ronnie Smith, and my first statement is the form that we need to fill out to prove who lives in the home. If they do not fill that form out, cannot we fine them?
I don't believe there's anything in the bylaws that allows us to fine them.
Excuse me, I could not hear you.
I don't believe there's anything in the bylaws that allows us to fine them. It isn't required. It's sent out to them when the fees are sent in. They're supposed to bring it in when they bring their first payments, and they're supposed to resubmit that. And they're supposed to do it a minimum of every 2 years.
I still can't hear what you're saying, I'm sorry.
Veronica, let me just say this. If we can get legal counsel to advise us on what we can do to require people to fill these forms out more, we'll ask. as the board, we are allowed to write rules and regulations, but as to fining the people that don't fill it out, that we would have to get advice from.
Regular advice.
Yes, we could. Yes, we could. So that's why we need everybody to fill them out. I am trying to do whatever I possibly can to get these people to fill it out. I've got the forms on the tables. I have, at the meetings we're bringing them. We're putting them out by the library. We're calling people. And as a matter of fact, if you call and you file a complaint, let's say, or whatever, for whatever reason you want to contact the office, we ask, is your HOPPA form filled out?
If I may be so bold as to add, having worked on the census, that is a federal requirement, and we don't have the right to fine or force someone to fill those out.
Thank you, Ann. I will still bring to council for his advice on different things that we can possibly do to help get more forms filled out.
Okay, thank you. They will not be given. Okay. My second thing is that our last meeting, we were not able to meet the new two people on the board. Can they please introduce themselves and tell us what their ideas are?
Ruth Hollis.
Hi, I'm Ruth. This is my first time being on a board. I'm going to be honest, so I have no ideas yet. But I will have them, and I will contribute. I promise. Anything else you want to know about me? I'm somewhat of an open book. Shh. You might be questioned. What you want to know how I get here?
When we needed to fill a vacant seat, the board voted to accept Ruth's. She kind of volunteered to step up, so we all voted, and she was appointed to fill the vacant seat. She will have to go up for re-election in the next election, but she will hold this seat until the end of the year. Sam Wright.
Good morning, my name is Sam Wright. I'm a retired postmaster and veteran Marine. I have been here for about 2 years now in HCB, and I wanted to step up and help the community. I don't want to leave it blank. We need to move on from what has happened in the past and make this community better for everybody to live in. So please, we got to come together. We can't be divided. This is not a party. This is one community that we all belong to, and I want to see it succeed. So I appreciate your patience in us getting together and making everything right for all of us. Thank you.
I'm sorry, misunderstood the question. I'm from Totowa, New Jersey. I've been here 3 years, 5 months, okay? And I've been a secretary my whole entire life, and I love it. And I will do whatever I can to make this a beautiful place because I want to stay here. I don't want to move again. It was painful, okay? So let's, like Sam said, let's get together. Be a family, okay?
Okay, Carol, you got a question for us?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Mary Ann Jacobs, and when the new board ran, one of the things that they ran on very vehemently is to increase the clubs, increase activities, make this community so that everybody has something that they're interested in that they can join. Today I'm speaking for the Melodiers and the Variety. We are two clubs that have been around forever and ever and ever, entertaining the residents of this community as well as people from the outside and other communities. Now, we already got a taste of our stellar microphone system today, okay? We need new equipment. We put on a show at Christmas time, and it was an embarrassment to the people who were singing, who got up to open their mouth and found out there was no audio, okay? The Variety is having the same problem now, and we knew about this at our at our concert only. We didn't realize that the microphones were compromised until then. We tried to get people to understand this. This is not the Variety, and this is not the Melodeers microphone system. This is the community's microphone system. And we should have it fixed by the money from the community. Now, we've already gotten a taste of it. These microphones, even today, are going in and out, where people are saying, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. Well, how do you think we feel when we're on stage and people can't hear us? And we can't stop, but yet this is not a way to build community and have, if these shows don't sound good, people aren't going to come to them. And this is not going to be an activity that the communities are going to have anymore. It'll just fold up, and that'll be the end of it. So my question is can we have a show in May? We have a show in June. Can we please get these microphones fixed? Can we get the lavaliers that are needed or the overhead mics so that when we put on a show, the show sounds great, the people want to come, they want to enjoy themselves, and they can walk out saying, wow, my $5 or $7 was really well spent. Thank you.
Hi, I'm going to answer that question. We had the sound people here a couple weeks ago, Howard. Okay. The system that was put in when they replaced it is not big enough for presentation. The microphones were not put in the insurance that they lost the 4 body mics and they lost all the hanging mics. And they tell us because of the supply chain, they're not out there. We worked on it. We tried to get a reimbursement kind of thing because they spent $1,200 on the sound system. It really should be $1,600. They thought they would give us credit. That didn't work. We are working on it. And they say you can't even find microphones if you wanted them. So we tried. And like I just found out about it in January. Supposedly they called the company in December. I called, made a lot of phone calls. It was very annoying. They answered me. They came. They looked. I don't know what to tell you. We're going to have to somehow, on the fundraising queen, come up with some kind of fundraiser to make money to buy microphones.
I need to add what Fran said, and I need to thank Fran for getting them here because she did try to contact them several times and they just weren't answering the phone or whatever, to where she made a little bit of maneuver where they were here like the next day. She did invite Harold or the Melodeers and the Variety Club to come to that meeting. I did that day email, or the next day, I'm sorry. The next day, I did email the company saying that we were looking to get the lapel mics, getting some hanging mics, and whatever we need to do. The company said the system that the last board bought to replace whatever was lost was a selection from the last board. And I can send you the email response that I got from them if anybody wants to leave their email address. What Fran said is correct. The supply chain is, you can't get anything. They're not making the upgraded machines. They're not making the wireless mics right now. Even the technician that was here said if you could find them, buy them, because you can't find them even. All right, so that's as for the sound system. We did respond the best we could. So we're stuck. We can't do anything. You know, as for your upcoming concert, I think it'll sound a lot better. The technician, when he was here, he said that the settings for the two sisters, like 2 channels, we have 8 channels, and each channel is synchronized. And whatever happened, the channels were not syncing correctly. He set everything back to the default sync. I think that the microphones right now sound so much better than what they did at the last meeting. There's no cracking, there's no feedback, there's none of this going on. Yes, we do have to put our mouth up to the phone, but that's the system that we have. So right now we have 8 channels. He's recommending 16 channels. We cannot even if we could get the microphones, we can't even plug them into the system because this system is full. So we need to either upgrade the system or come up with some kind of solution. They are looking into like maybe doing a sub panel where we can do the wireless mics and do the ceiling mics, plug it into a sub-panel, then plug that sub-panel into the system. Cost-wise, we don't know. He hasn't got back to us yet, but we did research it immediately.
Okay, but I heard, this is what I'm hearing, and I heard this another time, just not today, but I'm hearing that, you know, you're asking to have a fundraiser for this equipment. Why? This belongs to the HOA. This belongs to everybody. We all pay HOA fees. $5 out of everybody's fee, and you'd have a beautiful system. Come on. You know, let's not be so penny wise and pound foolish here. You don't mind doing the bocce courts. Why can't we spend a couple of $1,000 for our microphones so we can have a nice show?
Okay, I have a question back there. My name's Elizabeth Lee. The HOPA forms, how often do they need to be filled out? I filled one out when I paid my HOA fees. Does it need to be filled out again?
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
All right.
Every 2 years, and because I just moved in, and when I moved in, I asked them, they said, you already filled it out last year. So you had a year to go, and then I have to fill one out. So it's every 2 years. When you go, you can go and ask at the window. Next meeting that we have, the regular meeting, shareholders meeting, we'll have forms in the back. You can pick one up if you need to, fill it out, or you can come up to the clubhouse one, and we'll have one in the office.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, my name's Triano again. I live on the corner of Frederickstead and Montserrat. The house behind me, which is on the corner of Montserrat and St. Thomas, has been vacant for roughly 20 years. It's literally falling down. There's animals crawling in and out of it. The front door was off, blowing in the wind. It's all overgrown. Now, I've complained to the Township of Toms River. I've complained to Berkeley Township. I've put in about 4 complaints to you people before you were in charge, so. Something has to be done about it. If this house ever goes on fire, which it will go on fire soon because it's all completely, total wreck. What can we do about it?
Well, we went by the house, we have the address, we checked the records, we sent the owner a letter, they don't answer the letter. We went to see if there's a lien on the bank, there is no lien. So we can't get in touch with anyone. We keep trying. I made a complaint, Judy's made a complaint, people ride by make complaints. I don't know, what do you expect us to do if I send you a letter and you don't answer it? I don't know how to get in touch with these people.
I heard it's owned by the Township of Toms River.
Excuse me?
I heard it's owned by Toms River.
It's not owned by the Township of Toms, it's owned by somebody, and he does not answer any of the letters we send him. We have, if you wanna come and see all the letters we sent, we'll show them to you.
They're assessing, actually, they're assessing.
When you find them.
Excuse me?
Are they being fined?
They are finding them, but we're not getting the monies, they'll become a lien on the property.
Right.
From what I understand, the gentleman went in a nursing home. If you look in the windows, there's all new doors in there that were never put up or anything. As far as animals getting in, somebody kicked out the bottom panel on the screen room in the back, and that's why animals are getting in there. I don't know who would do that, but somebody did. The door is hanging off on a hinge. I say we should take the door off, put it inside the building, or put it somewhere in the back. And other than that, there's nothing wrong with it. The house has not been updated, but there's a lot of houses that haven't been updated in here. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with them. The animals would get in because of that panel, that's all. And there is a company that is paying the taxes being kept to date. The taxes are paid to the town. And they get the association fees, but they get paid with it.
Board of Health with the animals in the house.
Please raise your hand and get the microphone because we cannot hear you.
That's a very good point.
Now, let's go with the Board of Health question first, and then I'll.
I'm Barbara Shabilia. And what about the Board of Health? If there are animals in that house, maybe they should look into it.
I have never seen any animals in the house, and I've been by the house. I live right through there, and I've never seen animals.
Well, maybe the Board
I
of
don't know
Health
why they
should be
wouldn't go in there.
Should be notified.
We can do that,
Yeah,
but I don't think they're gonna get involved unless there's a health issue. I don't see a health issue.
Well, they don't know unless they go in the house. Can they go in the
No,
house?
how can they go in the house? The house is locked up.
Well,
The
they
house
can
is
look
clean
in the
inside, it's got all the doors and everything in there. That has never been cleaned. The house, you can look in the windows and see.
They're not allowed
Just a
to go-
suggestion. It's just a
They're
suggestion.
not allowed to go in anybody's property here, okay? Unless the house catches on fire or something, they're not. Listen, I spoke to the people with the Board of Health, I spoke to the people with the code enforcement for the county, for the township. They're not allowed even on the property, okay? And they told me this. I can't go on their property. They'll be held liable. The Board of Health, unless there is something specific, like a dog tied up outside, or a kid that's in there getting beat up, with dirty food, or not eating, or doing something to that effect. They just can't go there. And when you call them, they say, thank you for your call, but there's nothing we can do about it. Okay? And we tried, because since I've been here, I've seen that house. My wife has said something. Judy has said something. Gina has said something, because we all see this house with the door hanging off, and we can't even take the door off because it's not your property, it's their property. So they can get us a trespass if we touch something on their property. And it's, you know what, the house is a disgrace. I wish we could do something about it. But right now, I just can't seem to get any.
Legal can't do anything about it?
No, we brought it to legal. They said, our lawyer sent them a letter. They don't answer the letter. So where do you go? You go to the bank, and the bank says, we don't want to get involved. I'll just pay the taxes. We don't know nothing. Everybody pushes it on us. And I don't mean you. Thank you for your question, but like I said, I hate that house.
I have this woman here, please, and then that gentleman, there's someone else.
Okay.
Hi, Sally Lazara. I wanted to say this when the Melodiers are talking about having, the microphones and all that stuff. I'm sorry, personally, at this time, I would like the new board to concentrate not on the flowers and the microphones, the problems, and then of course now this one. This is what I'm talking about. If a house is empty, they're paying their taxes, I get it. There's nothing you can do with that. What about the people that are living here, that are going to school? They have grandchildren. That's not right. Those are the people. The problems is what I would like solved versus a dog park.
Yes.
Flowers by the sign. Really?
Let me answer you. You make a complaint and write it down of a house where you saw the kids go in and out, and we will go and investigate it. There's 3,300 homes in this community. I ride around a lot in my car, and I check them out, and if we hear that there's a child living there, Judy and myself go there personally, knock on the door, nobody answers, there's nothing we can do, then we go to the next step, we write them a letter, and we follow through on it. So if anybody here sees something that they don't think is right, talk to the association, fill out the form, give it to us, and we can go look at it, and we will. And we just went the other day, I don't remember the house number, but they're writing a letter, and it's being sent to the people, and they're telling how long they have to get out of this community. And that's it. It's our community, all right? It's not the, I'm not going to say anything bad about your grandkids, but you know what? They shouldn't be living here. They can visit for the summer. Come on. We all have grandkids. But the thing is, living here, we have to pay school tax. We have all kinds of problems because we have underage people living here.
And also, I've heard people complain that the people there sell drugs and stuff like that. Now, I know, listen, there's only so much you guys can do. The other thing is, I thought maybe in the newspaper, there can be some informative information. If you think somebody's selling drugs, call that cop. I don't know.
We've had that
I don't know.
We've had that too. We have people that complained about their neighbors abusing them and doing somebody said they thought they were selling drugs. Well, you have to call the police, and you know what the police say? And you got an iPhone, take a picture. So you see the kid coming out, get a picture of it on your phone. So when we come with the police on, because we can't do the police work, we're not going to mess with somebody. You never know if they're selling drugs, they might want to shoot us. We don't need that. But so if you see somebody you think is selling drugs, I would say call the police.
Take a picture and send it over.
Right. And the police.
Same thing if you see children going in that house. Take a picture of it and give us the address. So we have something to back us up. You can't just go there and knock on the door and say you got kids here. They say, yeah, we're watching our kids today. How can we prove they're not? We're trying to do that. I know 3 houses in my own neighborhood. And we've got notices, and when they don't answer the notices, they get a fine.
Okay.
And a lot of them are rental properties.
Okay, to get back to the house on the corner of Montserrat and St. Thomas.
That's not a house that needs to be updated, it's a house that needs to be knocked down. It's a total eyesore for the neighborhood. And I'd like to know, aren't there any rules and regulations that cover the outside or inside of the condition of your home? It's overrun with bushes, and it's a total disgrace to the whole community.
So the rules and regulations would be, we would fine you. So now I fine you and you don't answer the letter that I sent you, you don't answer the fine, so it just continues. Now when we go to the lawyer and we say, well, let's put a lien on it, he says there's 10 liens on this house where you have to stand on line. So what happens is we'll spend $30,000 fighting for this house to get the lien on it, and they tell you, you know what, you're going to get $3,000. Because everybody else has already put a lien on it because they got liens for the electric, they got liens for whatever they've done on this house, taxes, whatever, so we have to stand on line because we've already spoke to a lawyer about doing something with this house. And he said, be aware of what you do. You don't want to spend $10,000 to retrieve $500. Okay? Because we're also looking out for the community. We're not spending the community's money wildly. We investigate things before we do it, because if we spend the money, somebody's going to say, why did you spend 10 grand? You only got back 1,000. Because that can happen. All right? And that's why we have a lawyer. We take his advice and we're trying. You think any of us want to see that house? Not really. Can we knock it down? No, we cannot. It's your property, not mine. So if I was to knock it down, we'd probably end up, then you'd find out who owned it, because we'd have a lawsuit. You know what I mean? And I'm not getting loud with you, I'm just trying to explain to you that there's so many things that our hands are tied with, and we're trying. And you know who we're trying for? The community. It's for everybody here and everybody that's not here, that lives here. It's our community. I'm sorry that we can't do nothing else.
I have a question here.
Spring is here. Are we going to keep the lakes clean like we've done? I'm here 17 years, and 14 of the years they look like a swamp. Are we going to continue to keep these lakes clean?
Well, from what I understand, they had a company that was coming in doing the lakes every year, and we were trying to wait and knock them off every other year. And I've also been told by one of the councilwomen that there was a time that when they opened the floodgates, it allows them to freeze over and it eliminates that. We got rid of a lot of the rubber bands. Right now I'm waiting on the township's engineers, Remington and Vernon, who they have a guy named John LeCompte who's going to be coming out and inspecting all the waterways. He'll give us a list of what has to be done, and he'll submit it to the township to see what they'll do. From what I understand, they have part of the responsibility to them as well. So we're working on that. I've been calling him all week because the one lady, Jamie Zimmerman, told me to speak to him. I've left messages, I haven't gotten an answer, and I think that's because the guy probably hasn't gotten out with the weather from one day to another. I'm sure once he gets out and he inspects all, and we'll have a list of exactly what they feel should be done, what the town can do, and what we'll have to do, and then we'll have to take it from there.
Until the town responds on it, we know how the town responds on things. Are we going to still treat the lakes because it looks like a swamp? None of you people have been here as long as I've been here, and I've witnessed that we lived on a swamp.
Well, they said that it was treated last year.
It's got to be treated every year.
Yeah, they said it is usually treated every year, so I don't know why it would be looking like a swamp.
So you're going to continue treating it?
Yes, we'll continue doing what we have
good.
to do. Maintain.
Good.
But we're waiting to hear exactly what the extent is that we have to do to keep from needing it every year. It should be cleaning itself, and if we open and close these gates, they should be doing it itself. It freezes the under stuff out.
Hi, I'm Grace Maltese, and I live on 840 France. There's a house, all our houses on the cul-de-sac, we're doing really nice. We're fixing our houses up, we're making it nice. This one house, the grandmother left it to the grandson. The grandson is 48 years old. A drug addict, lives up north. The house is falling apart, making my house look like crap. When he does come down for an emergency, you don't believe what comes out of that house. And my husband is a known fact to say the truth. Rats and mice. The guy lives in there once in a while, and he comes down and he lives with mice and rats. Now in the summertime, when he comes down to open his garage, to put the sprinkler on, what do you think comes to my house? And I'm not happy with this. I know there's not much you could do, but you must be able to do something for us. These abandoned houses are horrendous. Their parents giving these kids these houses
that don't have the money to take care of it, don't live here, and I gotta live next to rats, mice, and shambles. It's a disgrace.
Wait a minute.
All right, fine, the health department.
Did you fill out a complaint form about this house?
I'm sorry, no, I haven't.
Well, fill one out and we'll go and investigate it next week. Because we can't, like I said, there's 3,300 homes in this community. If you fill out a complaint form, we will, Judy and myself will look at it immediately. Within a week. We can't go tomorrow, but we do follow up on every complaint that we get. And that's all. It's very simple. So not fill out the form. Some people fill them out and don't put their name on it. You know, just give us the complaint, what you're saying, rats and mice and whatever, and we will investigate it. And then we will go a little bit further and see what we can do about it. Okay?
Please, because I'm sure I'm not the only person complaining about this.
Okay.
It's making our community look like crap.
Well, that's why I came here. Because I'm tired of looking at this.
Now, my second question is, are you going under the rules and regulations of the old lawyer, with people that have fines on their homes and levies on their homes, and people that could pay $125 a month through the court system and the lawyer that they can leave their grandchildren here? And this is a known fact that I can give you names.
Fill out a form with the names and the addresses, and we'll look into it, because what you're talking about, I never heard of anything about paying.
No, I didn't. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Listen, I'm here 15 years, and everybody knows this person, and I'm not going to say who it is, but I'm sure they understand. Now, I don't want to hear, oh, we're new. I appreciate you being new, and I welcome you, and I really do. I'm very happy you're here. But I'm sick and tired of these grandchildren coming here and living here, and their son is selling drugs in the same freaking house. And I can't tell you how many times the cops have been to that house.
If you do not fill out a complaint form, I can't investigate it. You must fill out a complaint form, and we will investigate it.
You can't just assume that we know this or that other
We
people
don't know it. It doesn't matter how long we've lived here.
You may think of
Okay, what about the court order that they went to court and settled for $125 a month that they can?
How would we know that? How would we know that?
Excuse me, I haven't, since I've been here over a year, I spend 4 hours a day here every single day, and I have not heard one time that somebody's okay to live here by paying $125.
Me neither, no.
All right, so we're not going to argue.
I'm living here 10 years and I've never heard that before ever.
So you know what? Fill out the complaint form and we will investigate it.
Next question, please. Who do you got there, Ann? I'm sorry.
I want to give you a compliment. I put in two forms about the problems on my block, and they were taken care of within a week. Plus, I received a phone call from the lady, I forgot her name, and I was very, very happy what you did for me. So, take that as a compliment, and I hope you keep the great work up.
Thank you. Because I'm trying to work for the community.
As long as we're complimenting, I went down, filled out a form, and within 2 hours, Matt and Judy were at my house looking at my problem. There was a giant tree in my neighbor's yard, branches falling, it was dangerous. Then I said, I bought a brand new chainsaw, I want to know if I can cut some trees down. And I was very excited to use my chainsaw. They said, no, this isn't on your property, we'll take care of it. That was on a Thursday. On Monday, Brian's trees came down, took care of everything by lunchtime. It was fantastic. I couldn't believe it. I want to thank you guys for writing this.
Hi everyone. I would like to respond about the lakes. 2008, I bought my house on Jamaica Boulevard on the water, but you couldn't see the water. It was covered with lily pads. You actually could not see a drop of water. And I had a friend come over who was a fisherman. He said, you have to get this fixed. So I went to the board at that time, and they said, oh, we don't own the lakes, the township owns the lakes. Well, after a series of events, I found out that we, Berkeley here, own the lakes, not the town. I was working with the DEP, the lady's name was Holly, And she gave me a list of 15 different companies that would help clear the lakes. And I hired Princeton Hydro. They came in and they put a herbicide down on the lakes, and within 1 year, all the lily pads were removed and gone, or whatever happens to them, sink to the bottom. And it's called, when the lily pads are on top of the lake like that, and there's no oxygen, it's called eutrophication. That means the water turns over and the fish die. So you have to keep the water clear. Right now, I don't know when they stopped putting the herbicide in, but it was done every year. It was an $18,000 fee. They came in April and they came at the end of the summer. The problem is that we have gates on each lake. I was able to get one gate fixed through another company that was working on the roadway on Charlottesville, and they put in a new platform and a new gate. The other gate is on Jamaica Boulevard. They put a new platform, but there's no gate there because you have to break the wall in a sense because everything is frozen from being so many years not being exercised. So what they do is when you open the gate, the water goes below the spillway and the water drains out of the lake to allow the vegetation to freeze over the winter. You do this in October. Then in April, you close the gate and you allow the water to refill, and that stops all of the vegetation from growing. There's a process. It has never been done, and that's what this board is going to have to look into. It's a little bit of an investment, but in the end, it's well worth it. So the lakes look a lot better now than they ever did, and I just wish that they would continue to do the herbicide. Princeton Hydro was the company that did Lake Apacon, and that's why I hired them, because they knew exactly what to do. And if anyone else wants to speak to me about it, I have no problem telling you. Thank you.
I already spoke to Sophia about this, and she had explained this to me. From what I understand, at one of the gates, there was concrete poured on it, and that's why it reopened the floodgate on Bimini or Bananier.
On Bananier, when they came in and they worked on that highway area, the county came in and did some work. They closed off that area where the gate is.
Well, that's what I'm hoping that Remington and Berlin's going to find out.
There are others that can be worked on.
That's what I'm hoping we're going to find out. You also said something about a wheel that the maintenance guys in Carefree open and close themselves. And that if that's done regularly, you don't need the maintenance company every year. In the meantime, we have the hydro, we do use that every year.
It looks like a steering wheel for a car. Turn it, and the gate on the bottom opens up and allows the water to drain down under the spillway. Because when you look over, you see the spillway. But there's another opening below that to the right of it. And that's what allows the water to drain down. And it goes out into Barnegat Bay. This water travels quite far. And it would be very helpful if those gates would get fixed.
That's what I'm waiting to hear from John LeCompte and Remington and Vernon. They're going out to do an inspection. They'll tell us what has to be done. And then hopefully when that's done, we won't have any issues with it.
I need to add that I have been reviewing the past budget reports for, I'm going to go back maybe 5-6 years. And the past board has always had Princeton Hydro. They get almost $11,000 a year. We did not cancel it. This has been going on for as far back as I can see. They paid it last year. We're paying it this year. So it is a constant treatment that we're getting. It has not been neglected at all.
Are there any more questions?
I got one in the back there.
Hello, my name is Fred Gerlich, and we had at one of our meetings here, we had the township people come, and just like the animal control, where you have problem with the deer, you call them and they will come and tell the people they have to stop feeding them or whatever it is. They told us at that time that if somebody doesn't take care of their house, you call them and they will come down and they will either declare it not livable, or they'll fix the problem and charge the people, or That's what they told us right on the stage, right in front of us. Is that not true? It would be the township. You call them, and if we got enough complaints about these houses, I think the township would do something.
Well, I think what they do is, in Bricktown, they used to condemn the houses. If they were let go or they were abandoned, then they could condemn them. But when their taxes are being paid on a regular basis, and their association fees are paid, and their...
A word she said all day. Now, she said that they had rats and whatnot at this house. That's a health problem.
Well, that
you couldn't call the health department and have them come down and
She didn't give us the address of the house.
I do know the address of the house. I know the...
We had a person we hadn't seen in a house for a couple of months, and we called the police, and the police went down there and knocked on the door. And when they didn't answer the door, they said they were going to break it down, and then he came to the door. So, have somebody say you haven't seen him lately. Maybe he's dead in the house.
The house that she said with the rats in that, I don't know where that is. Where?
Don't tax. When the guy comes down to Springfield, he comes down from Philly with a 47-year-old Einstein. He asks his husband, everybody knows my husband here, tells me what's easy.
Listen, we're going to go over it again. You got to fill out the paperwork.
Excuse me, I'm speaking. And when he goes to the house, the rats are all over the house.
What is the address of the house?
Fill out
Fill out a form, Grace.
Number 9.
These guys are...
Fill out the form.
I have to say this about our code directors. We had split up the code... Grace, excuse me, Grace. We had split up the code directors for a reason, because we knew that this was going to be a job-intensive, it takes a lot of work to do all the code. So I recommended, when we first formed the board on how we were going to work, I assigned Matt and Judy to team up as the code enforcers. You've heard before from other share owners. You put your complaint in, they address it immediately. We do not have piles of complaints, because when you fill it out, they come right out.
Where do I get this form?
At the clubhouse.
At the clubhouse.
Grace, I can tell you this, that if you fill out the form, he'll be there within a week. He'll be there. Any other questions? We have another question on the back.
Hi, my name, excuse me, my name is Lou DiTucci. I'm a pretty new resident here, about a year and a half, and I just have to say right off the bat, I really love it here. I'm so happy. It's a great move. This is on a more upbeat note, I hope, in conjunction with something that the woman said, that why are they trying something new with the board, and another woman back there who said, we don't have internet. What the board, particularly Mike, has been very active in trying to implement is we're going to try to teach you how to use a computer. This is for people who do not have computers, who are afraid to touch a key that they might hit the wrong thing and destroy everything. If you're intimidated by a computer and you don't know how to use one, we're going to try to start giving, little introductory lessons, very, very basic. It's almost like computer for dummies. Right? Excuse me, but you'd even have a book about that. So we're going to try to start implementing that. We have 4 computers in the library, and maybe you'll see a little notice, and maybe in the next bulletin, very, very basic. I mean, how to get online, how to log into a website, how to use what we call the mouse. People don't know what a mouse is, not a real mouse like that lady has. So come in, and like I say, we're very limited, but you can call the number that's going to be in the ad, and you can learn how to. People say, "Oh, I got this from Amazon." You can do this on the computer. You can pay your bills. You can file your taxes, and we'll show you how to do all those little things. If you're interested in advanced computer courses, how to do formulas on Excel, this is not for you. It's for the very basic people who are afraid to use computers. If you want, you can bring your own, because we only have 4 computers, so it's going to be very limited. And it's for free. There's no charge on it. So,
Very nice.
Mike is really the one to introduce this.
Very nice, very nice. Wait, I have a question.
I have one here.
Donald Murphy, just have a question for the board. Do we have a budget for this year yet? A budget?
The budget was produced last November by the past board. And that's where they announced that they reduced the assessment fees by $15 a quarter. That's done every November. Okay, so hopefully, we do have people that signed up for a budget committee, but it hasn't started yet. We need to get them online. If anybody wants to be on this budget committee, we can do this ourselves. It is a standing committee, and I think, Don, you signed up for it too.
Yeah, I just didn't know that we had one from last year.
Can you give us an update on the deer situation? I know it's controversial. I have new neighbors and they are mortified that there's birds in their backyard.
On May 5th, the coalition group, which is all the 55 and other communities in Holiday City, are going to have a meeting with the state. And it's going to be the State Wildlife Commission, and they're going to give us a rundown on what's happening with our deer. I will be there personally, I will record it, and I will come back and I will report to everyone here, because I'm just as concerned about the 20 deer in my backyard every day as you are, okay? And that's all I can tell you right now, because when you call a township, they tell us there's nothing we can do. You call their animal control, there's nothing we can do. So we're going to go with the state, and these people are bringing the state in, so that's why I want to go to May 5th, and I will definitely report to Michael or anybody, because he can put it online, because I'm not going to do with that stuff, and you can find out what was done and what we can do about it.
Stop feeding them.
Stop feeding them.
Stop feeding them.
Real quick question about the pool. Are we gonna refinish the pools this year, and is it possible they could open a week or two earlier and close a week or two later?
The pool will be open the week of Memorial Day, weekend like it normally is, and it will close at the end of September.
Labor
No, September.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
They are working on the pools as we speak. They've been power washing them for days, and they're preparing them. Then they're painting. They're doing the patios, and they've been working hard on it. So they know that they have to get it all cleaned up to reopen it. They're not due for a resurface yet. We evaluated that. We did extend a couple things with the pool schedule. It's going to still open, I think, the first week of May or whatever it is, normal. Then what's going to happen is we're going to keep it open until the end of September, so you're gaining 2 more weeks than normal. Then also what we're going to do is during the long days of summer, I think it was July and August, we're going to keep it open 1 more hour, so it'll be open until 9 o'clock at night. Last call, any questions?
Okay, can I get a motion to close the meeting? Second. Meeting's closed. Thank you all for coming.